Most drummers today are practicing the wrong things, and it's not really their fault. They're just copying what gets attention online. You scroll Instagram and you see insane chops and crazy fills, a ton of notes, and it makes you feel like that's what you should be working on. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm guilty of the same phenomenon. But here's the problem. That's not what actually makes you sound good in a band. And if you focus too much on that, you might actually be making your playing worse without realizing it. Because in real musical situations, you're not expected to play more. You're expected to play better. And that comes down to three things: your time, your sound, and your balance on the kit. And if those aren't solid, it doesn't matter how many chops you have, you're not going to sound professional. So in this video, I want to break these down and show you what actually matters if you want to sound like a drummer people trust and want to play with. Having a solid time is something that's so essential for a drummer. It's like one of the key things that you can ever really master is your time and feel. And there are different ways that we can approach this. Ultimately, it all comes down to two main things. We have the chord note pulse, and that's the number that you get from a metronome. And ultimately, we want to be able to play that consistently, that we don't rush and we don't drag that pulse that we have. But then there's another aspect. There's the space between the chord notes. What happens between the chord notes is equally important as the pulse. Like, can you manage to play whatever it is that you're playing or not playing between the chord notes? Are you in time with that? For instance, we can fill the chord note space with 4/16 notes. So if we have a pulse, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we can have triplets, like let's say eighth note triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have different subdivisions that we play between the chord notes, and we play them in good time or not. If I play those 16th notes and they're a bit off, they're a bit like, I don't know if that was a good example, but you get my point. So if I play those chord 16th notes and they're not quite there, I'm not in time. Like, my time is a bit off in that regard. So whether we are filling all the space between the chord note or it's like a complete pause, it can be a break also, that we don't play anything, but we still need to count that, right? Or that we have, let's say we play the last 16th note only from these four that I just played. So to develop your time, you need to focus basically on both of these things, the pulse and also the subdivisions, how you manage to move from one subdivision to another. And here's a cool exercise. It's really simple and basic. It's what every drummer practices at one point or another. In this exercise, we're going to play eighth notes, eighth note triplets, and 16th notes. And I'm going to play one bar each, and then I'm going to move to the next one and try to play them as solidly as I possibly can. I'm going to keep time with my left foot on this example. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is an exercise that basically you can practice forever. Like, you're never ready with this stuff. And the example I just played, I'm sure it could be more tighter and I could spend time with it. Like, now I just basically came to this workspace that I have and started filming. I've not practiced anything today, so I can probably feel it. And yeah, so it's like every day can be a bit different as well. But these are the fundamental exercises that can be overlooked because they're so simple. But it's the stuff that really defines your fundamental skills. Then let's talk about sound. Sound can be sometimes even more important than the notes you play. And what I mean by this is that if your sound is off, two drummers can play the same groove, exactly the same notes, but still the other one sounds way better. So touch is about stick control. Whether you're hitting your cymbals or hitting any of these actual drums, you are in control of the sound you produce. And even the place where you hit, like with toms for instance, if you hit the drum a bit off center instead of center. And even with the bass drum, there's a clear difference. So it's the movement of your stick, but also the place that you hit. And these are all part of how you produce the sound, how you touch the drum. If I was playing some sort of tom groove, so I was trying to play a bit stiff here and not really hitting the drum properly, but if I try to play properly now. So maybe you got my point. So the way you produce the sound, even though your groove is technically correct, but if it doesn't sound good, it doesn't sound good. So you are in control of the sound you produce. Now let's talk about kit balance. And by that I mean the volume difference in between different parts of the drum kit. You can think of this as something that you need to control, the volumes of different limbs and different parts of the drum kit. Think of it like a mixing board on a sound table. You have all these different knobs that you turn to bring the volume up or down. But you are in control of your kit balance as well. If your kit balance is off, what I hear very often is people play their cymbals a bit too loudly. For instance, a basic groove. You're hitting the hi-hat too loudly and you're not really hearing bass drum or snare drum. And if we're talking about pop rock type of songs, we normally want to hear the bass drum and the snare drum quite well, and the cymbals are a bit lower. Now you can hear your bass drum and the snare drum. But managing your kit balance is so important. It can make you sound really bad, even though you technically might play the right things. So if you've been feeling stuck with your playing, there's a good chance it's not because you need more complex ideas. It's because these fundamentals aren't fully in place yet. And the good news is, once you fix these, everything else becomes easier. Your grooves feel better and your fills sound more musical. So if you want help with that, that's exactly what I focus on inside my program. I'll show you how to build control, develop your timing and expand your rhythmic vocabulary in a way that actually translates into real music and not just exercises. So if you're interested, you can check that out through the link below. And if this video gave you a new perspective, let me know in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.